I enjoy the thrill of the hunt, the ritual. Stalking my prey, circling them, slowly closing in for the kill. And sometimes, I just want something to happen. I've been parked here for hours, watching Sergey, the friendly neighborhood drug dealer, keep watch over his pathetic kingdom. Doesn't he ever use the bathroom? But then again, if you wait long enough, your moment will arrive. Timing is everything.
We gonna talk, Sergey.
This could be my best chance. While Sergey is distracted with his guest, I can take a closer look at his car. If Sergey did use Morelli as a speed bump, there's bound to be some evidence.
Yo, what is up guys, it's Gamerverse back again here to do another review for you guys today, man. Today we are reviewing Dexter the game. Yes, this game is actually based on the Showtime series or TV show Dexter. If you didn't know, this show is about a guy that actually is kind of like a vigilante, but he is a serial killer as well. But the targets that he takes down is usually bad people, so it is kind of acceptable in a way, but I mean he's still doing very wrong things. But yeah, this game is based on the hit TV show, and in this video I will be reviewing the game. The game is a couple of years old. The release date for the game, I think it released a couple of years ago, maybe even 2005, maybe the time that the show came out. So actually 2009, so that's the time the game came out. There is a part 2 for the game as well, but on this review I will be focusing on the first part. The second part actually did not release on PC, or I'm not able to find it. I know there's a mobile version of the game, but I didn't play part 2. Anyways, this part is basically the first part. And as you know how I do my reviews, I will be discussing a couple of topics in the game. Then at the end of the video, hopefully you'll decide if you want to give this old classic game a try, or if you are a returning fan just coming to check out the video, I appreciate that too. So yeah, let's talk about our first topic. Our first topic is more of like a question actually. Does this game capture the true essence of Dexter? I'm just gonna say this, I don't think so. There's a couple of things that the game does right though, but I feel like at the time when this game was released, it might have had the essence a bit, but now in 2025 there's many things that actually deter it from not capturing that essence, especially if you're a big time fan of the show. Knowing that this show has been going on for years, knowing that they are continuing it now. They've been continuing the show with Dexter New Blood, Dexter Original Sin, and now also with Dexter Resurrection coming out soon, very soon. Yeah, there's just a lot of things that comes into play. Though I did have a good time playing this game, it was very short, but I'll get into that a little bit later. First, let's talk gameplay mechanics. So the core gameplay loop of the game is basically similar to what Dexter does in the TV show. You've got to do some investigation, you've got to do some stalking, and of course the kill ritual where your targets are on the table and you get to kill them, take the blood slide, have your trophies and everything. It's more of like a stealth type based, and what's emphasized a lot in the game is actually the part where you actually do the things that Dexter does in the show, but there's a lot of things left to be desired in the gameplay. Though the gameplay loop kept me decently entertained. Maybe it's because I'm a fan of the show, I don't know, but it doesn't feel like you are Dexter really. There is parts of the game that made me feel, okay, this could be a little bit fun and whatever. It's not actually repetitive, and as I said, the core gameplay is investigation, stalking, and the kill ritual. But there's a lot of other things that also takes into play, like when you engage in conversations with people. like the people on the show. You get to talk to like Deborah, you get to talk to Angel, even Arita as well, because this game is actually just about maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on how you play. But yeah, those are the gameplay loops. Like I said, you investigate your targets, you do a bit of stalking in the game. As you can see on screen, it's like basically you stalk your targets, and then you got to do these quick time events as well. There's a lot of mini games. The mini games was a little bit confusing for me. Like the main mini game that I hated, not hated, but I kind of didn't like it that much, was like the blood spatter analysis. You gotta like, if I didn't look up a guide, I probably wouldn't even be able to complete the game. But you gotta like match the blood spatter and things. And then there's also the lock picking mini game, which was confusing at first, but at the end of the day, I ended up getting it and understanding how to do it. And there is also a timer in these events, so when you are maybe like stalking somebody and you gotta like get some evidence on a target, and that means you have to actually like get something out of the car or go inside the house and get something. There's a timer, so if you don't do everything within that timer, you end up getting caught. Or there's this mechanic where you have to like sneak behind the target, and then there's like a suspicion meter at the top, which if it turns red, ultimately you will get caught, and you gotta duck behind things so that the target doesn't see you. That mechanics wasn't that bad, but compared to like games nowadays, those mechanics are just so old. But if you do go into the game not expecting it to be a 2025 like super cool graphics type of AAA game, you might enjoy it. Go into the gameplay with the knowledge that I'm giving you, in terms of don't expect too much of it, but try and play it and enjoy it. So yeah, those are the gameplay mechanics. Next, I do want to talk about the story though. Is it based on the show? Is it a new story? No, it's not a new story. There are some conversations that are had in the game where you talk to like the NPCs, you talk to like Sergeant Dokes, Deborah, Harry's Code, things like that. There's some lines that aren't in the show, but the whole story of the game is basically directly based on the show. And some of the targets, I think a lot of the targets, there was only like 3 targets that you took down, like 4 targets or something. And those targets are not based on the show, but the ice truck killer is there, and the story narrative is basically the same as season 1 story. The writing is sharp and true to the series tone. To some extent, actually, it is sharp and true to the series tone. But there are a lot of things that definitely not like the show. The story, like I said, the story is very short. The game can be completed in about 1 hour, 2 hours, depending on how fast you play. It is a short game, and this is basically like a little fan game that they made. There wasn't a big budget for the game, and I feel like the people who worked on the game were just big fans of the game, and they wanted to experience a Dexter simulation type of game, and this is what they came up with. And like I said, the story, they like the new targets will keep you entertained, like people, and you gotta investigate these new targets which are not based on the show. But the Ice Truck Killer, there is a mainline story, and there's like side stuff that you need to do, but you have to complete all of that things at the end of the day in the game to come to the ending of the game, which I won't mention. I don't want to spoil that for you. But the story, the writing wasn't that good, but it's decent enough. Like I said in the beginning of the game, go into the game not expecting too much. Don't expect a lot from it. It is an old game. It came out in 2009, so give it some credit, you know. But yeah, that is the story. And next, I do want to talk a little bit about the graphics and the atmosphere. So yeah, as you can see, or as you obviously have seen on the video, the visual quality isn't that good. Yes, a lot of parts of the game feels quite lifeless. if you are in the Miami metro, you will see that there aren't really a lot of people around. Like it's basically just the NPCs that you need to talk to, and it's just like Debra, it's just LaGuerta and Dokes, and Angel's not there a lot of the time, and it's just lifeless in the Miami metro. And even in the mission where you had to be like in the city to stalk this target, the city is quite lifeless as well. There isn't a lot for the environmental design. Miami does not feel alive in this game. The lighting isn't that good. Blood effects, not that bad. It has a dark tone actually, and that's what the show ultimately brings across. But I feel like in the show, the atmosphere is definitely more alive with the background actors and the more NPCs, or you could just say background characters. But in the game, I feel like they should have had more NPCs. They should have found a way to actually make the game more alive, or to make Miami more alive, which they didn't achieve. But I mean, it is a fan game, like I said, and don't expect too much from it. Visual graphics is not great comparing to today's standards. But yeah, it's a quick little game that you can play to just get your mind off things. Or if you are a fan of Dexter, yeah, I would recommend you playing it if you are a fan of the show. Just for that fact, I played it, so I'm sure you will enjoy it if you are a fan of the show. Next, let's talk sound. Let's talk sound and voice acting.
Morning starts badly. The whole day goes badly when you get home.
Back to sleep, Sergey. You'll wake up when I want you to.
Voice acting quality is good, decent enough actually. Music is a lot from the show. Actually, they use the exact same background music, sound design. I would say the sound is one of the good parts of the game. Ambient sounds are there. There's tension building audio that they use. I do think they are using Michael C's voice in the voice acting. You can look it up though, but I do think they are using his voice. It does actually sound like him. So, yeah, that is it for the voice acting. The voice acting and sound. I feel like the sound was one of the things that kept me entertained as well, because I do like the sound that they use in the show, and they are using that exact same music and ambient sounds. Yeah, next I do want to talk about the bugs, glitches, ultimately the performance, right? Was there any crashes? Yes, there was. I experienced a couple of crashes. Though I did play this game on a old port, and I downloaded it from a website called what was website's name? Let me just look it up. Give me a moment to look it up. It wasn't like an old website where you can download these retro games. My abandonware. Go ahead and check out my abandonware for these older games that you might want to play, like classic games. But yeah, back to the performance. Optimization wasn't really good. There aren't really any settings in the game. You can't tweak any visual settings except for making the game full screen or border. PC specs recommendation. I don't even think you need 1 gig to play this game. You probably need like a 200 megabyte GPU to play this game. So this game isn't heavy on the performance side. But like I said, there was a couple of crashes that I experienced. There wasn't any performance drops though, so the game ran very smoothly in terms of the performance. The FPS. The only problem I had was like the crashes, and yeah, that's basically it. It crashed like 4 times, and there was a little bit of a problem actually with one of the cutscenes where it repeated itself. Like it would show a particular part in the cutscene, and then it would repeat itself. Yeah, that's one of the things I ran into too. But yeah, that's it for the performance. Next, I do want to talk a little bit about the iconic elements of the game. Like there are a lot of iconic elements in the game, like the blood slides, the inner monologue, the crime scenes, fan service moments, versus like filler content in the game. They are, like I said, there are some extra things that are not from the show, like the dialogues when you speak to certain people. But yeah, the game does make you feel like Dexter to a certain extent, but there is a lot to be desired. Next, I do want to talk final verdict. So, who should play the game, pros and cons, and of course, a final score. Was this game a bloody good time or just a bloody mess? I think the game is for anyone who have seen Dexter. I feel like if you haven't seen the show, this game would not gel with you, and it is not a good game in a lot of facts. But if you have watched the show and you love the show and you love the lore in the game, you love the characters in the game, you would definitely want to play this game, and you will stick through it to the end, through the bad mini games, through the bad investigations and everything in the game. You would definitely still play it. So yeah, those are my recommendations in terms of who should play the game. Let's talk a little bit about the pros and cons. Pros of the game: you've got a decent story. You've got some good music. You've got a good, like really good music. And then those are the pros actually. Gameplay isn't that bad, but the cons I do want to say is the environment. The game feels lifeless in a lot of the stages that you go to, like the levels on the map. Like I mentioned, the Miami Metro police station just feels so lifeless, like there's nobody around. And even in the parts where you have to be in the city, there aren't a lot of people around. The map just feels lifeless. So yeah, those are the cons. And now I do want to give my final score for this game, which is gonna be I want to give it a 3.5, but like I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5 in terms of the final score. I think the extra 5 that I'm giving is, or the extra half that I'm giving for the score, is just because I like the show and I stick to play this very, very bad game, which could be better. I do hope that they maybe remaster this game, but not just remaster it with better graphics and keep the same gameplay mechanics. Maybe reboot the game from upwards. Give us a better story. Give us maybe a different story. Maybe have it Dexter's son this time. Maybe Dexter Original Sin or Dexter New Blood, instead of giving us Dexter's story, which we know the beginning of Dexter. That would have been cool. That would be cool in the future. But yeah, I'm not here to bore you anymore further with this game. But thanks for sticking around. This is my review for Dexter, the game. If you are gonna play it, let me know. If you're planning to play it, just let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please leave a like. Subscribe to my channel. I've got some more awesome content. I am planning on playing some more classic games in the future. So stay tuned and subscribe to my channel. I've been Gamerverse, and I'll see you guys in another video.